Hi, I'm Reba Hervis, Artistic Director of Overshadowed Theatrical Productions. Welcome to this episode of From the Wings. Today we're going to talk about what maybe is the greatest fear of actors. Do you have any idea what it is? I'll tell you 100% that it's the reason I can't get my husband on stage at Overshadowed. He's afraid he's going to forget. I think there's a lot of you who might be feeling that same way. I have the solution to all your fears. The first one is to make sure that you rehearse and that you know backwards and forwards your lines, because it'll give you the confidence. Me, whenever I go on stage, even if we have now run the show for 4 weeks, in between shows on a Saturday afternoon and a Saturday night, I read all my lines again. I can say all my lines without my other cues, and I can actually quote them because I know them that well. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to forget, but I know them that well. Do you pour that much time and energy into the creation of your characters that you know that you can quote every line of yours without having a cue line? It'll make a really big difference in your performance if you do. Number 2, you need to exhale and inhale. Do that with me. We're not doing Lamaze. We're practicing for speech, for acting. It's really important because you know what happens when you take a moment to, then oxygen goes to your brain and it gives your brain the clarity to go, oh, wait, I know what I was searching for. That word is blah, 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 blah. And it gives you a little bit more freedom to give your brain the energy that it needs to get that word out. Point number 3, you need to take a second and think about your last line. So let's say that your character is in the waking up in the morning and they've just gotten done with breakfast, and you can't remember what your next line is. Then you take a moment to say, okay, we just finished with breakfast. What was I supposed to do next? Oh yeah, I'm gonna go check the mail. So even though you might not know 100% what your line is going to be, the train of thought can get you there, and you can say, oh, I know logically what's supposed to happen, so I can say this and I'll get there. So just take that moment and do that. Point number 4, you need to shift your focus. If you're panicked in the moment and you're sitting there and you're like, oh no, I can't, I don't know what comes next. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Help me, help me, help me. If you take a second to think about something else, shift what you're doing, a lot of times that will allow your brain to come up with what is needed next. I tell a lot of my speech students that they actually need to take a step forward or take a step to the side, because sometimes just that movement and making your body do that will allow your brain to come up with what it is that you need to come up with. The next point is, if all else fails, to just say, well, I don't know what to do next. And you'll win the audience with you. So I do not feel like I'm the best improver in the whole world. In fact, I know I'm not. I do not feel like my brain works quick enough in situations like this. Practicing this method has actually enabled me to be somebody that's strong on stage that can help when somebody else is in times of crisis. But back in the beginning, one of the very first parts I ever had, I got distracted. And most of the time I'm directing, not acting. And so when I'm on stage, my weakness is I'm directing in my head all the time. I'm thinking, oh, I wish they'd have said it that way, or wow, this didn't get moved in the right place. And I was in a scene where a desk had gotten moved and it didn't come all the way out from back and it was blocked. And I needed to be able to open the drawer and take the diary out of the drawer to say my next line. And so I walk on and I see that this problem is there already and that I'm not going to be able to open it. And so the person that I was on stage with was talking and he's saying all of his lines, and all of a sudden I'm still looking at this drawer and I'm like, nobody's talking. What's going on? And I turned around and looked at him, and he's looking at me, and I have no idea where in the scene we are, because I let my mind wander and I started thinking about something else. And I looked at him and I went, because I actually had nothing to give him. And he looked at me with his eyes got really big, and he started making up things and went on. It really helps to have somebody that you're connected with that can help you when you need it. The rest of the cast will have your back. Don't be afraid. Go out there, put these principles to use, and try something that maybe will give you a lifetime of happiness and rewards just by getting over your fear. So until next time, this is just me talking to you from the wings.